So we love a good hype cycle, but some trends are just absolute garbage. So let's separate the buzz from the bullshit and find out some trends that we like and some that we don't. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan.
Welcome back to Speak Candidly. Here's Brandy and Adam.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Speak Candidly. I am Brandy, and this is Adam, and this is where we speak candidly about everything and anything we want to. Hi.
Hi, beautiful. You ready for today's episode?
I am. I am definitely ready for today's episode. What do you got for me?
All right. So today we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about some cultural trends that some people don't really like too much. And we're going to see which ones of those are just kind of people complaining and which ones we think should actually,
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. So the first trend here that we have is reality TV.
Ugh.
So for me, this one is, I absolutely cannot stand reality TV.
Yeah.
From the moment that, it started back on MTV, what was the name of the show?
The Real World.
The Real World.
Yeah.
I could not stand The Real World.
I like The Real World. The first season?
Oh, no. And for me, like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Like they're going to look back one day in textbooks when you look back at like the fall of the Roman Empire and the Greek. They're going to look back at the fall of the modern empire.
Yeah.
And it's going to have started with the Kardashians.
I've never watched the Kardashians, so I am not a part of that pop culture influence. I don't like reality TV shows because they're not reality. It's fake, all of it. Like some of it is scripted. They redo shots. They create drama on set. They do so many manipulative things to make it a popular drama.
Right.
It's not actual reality. So
no, it's a manufactured production.
Yeah. So to me, it was just not fun.
Yeah.
Like some of the ones that like they would make into like games, sometimes I could watch, like Survivor a little bit because they would have like competitive games, but it's not something that keeps my interest because again, like in Survivor, they're not on an island trying to survive.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
it's not real.
It just doesn't speak to me. But if it speaks to you, by all means, do your thing. Just not for me.
Oh yeah, I would never stop anybody from watching the reality TV, but for me, this is one that I could do without.
Agree.
Now, the next one, this one we might differ a little bit on here, doomsday prepping. And I say that because you went on a little voyage at one point to kind of get us prepared.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In case of the eventual apocalypse.
So I am not a doomsday prepper.
No, you are not.
I am smart. We have already lived through a pandemic. And we are on our second term with a lunatic. Right. And I don't trust that, not just that, like natural disasters happen, you know what I mean? So yes, we have a generator. We've got a kit that I just happened to have brought with me today for some show and tell for you.
Yes, you did.
I did, so that everyone can see what I have in my box. That sounded bad. We'll call it the Doomsday Box.
Right.
It literally is just the stuff that everybody should have just in case. Handbrake radio. Couple of solar powered flashlight. I've got a couple of books on, like this one is wild plants that you can that are edible. This one is for using plants for healing remedies.
Gotcha.
Like medicine stuff. Mosquito repellent bracelets. I have a couple of these in the house and one in the Doomsday Box just in case. Just a regular like small emergency kit with like bandages and first aid kit. Yeah. Like this is for stops bleeding in seconds. I have a couple of knives, like Crocodile Dundee knives and a machete. This should go in the car. These are road flares. A seed packet,
right,
in case I need to grow my own. And then I have some the potassium iodine tablets in case they drop a bomb.
Fallout. Yeah,
I'm covered. Matches, batteries,
MREs.
I might have a couple of cases of MREs.
A couple cases of MREs that we have.
A couple of cases of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And some stuff like emergency water stuff. I felt better doing it. And I kept saying to you that like my logical side was like, this is insane. Like no one should have this stuff just laying around their house, But at the same time, I was like, no, that's not true either because like we could lose power for any reason in an extended period of time if we lost power.
Yeah, like we don't have a bunker out back, and I think if you were out there shoveling and trying to build one, I'd be a little concerned.
Right.
But this is one of those things to me that, you know, I can laugh at a little bit and have some fun with. And yet, if anything ever happened where we needed this stuff, it would be, okay, I told you so. Hey, I'm glad that you did this.
Yeah, like the scenarios that you are preparing for, like I said, are normal, like, you know, Hurricane Sandy hit pretty hard and we were without power for a week. It would help in situations like that. Like, this isn't like long term, but yet at the same time, we could probably get through a couple of good months and we would be okay.
If we needed to, yeah.
Right.
All right, next up on the list is subscription fatigue.
So being in an industry that it relies on subscriptions, this is going to sound really hypocritical, but it is so annoying that everything has a subscription anymore. As much as we will at one point probably rely on them for income, we do understand that they're just everywhere, and it's nickel and diming everyone.
I think it's, yes, the fatigue is real,
Mm-hmm.
because I think you have like different industries. You know, first of all, you have the streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, it was great because you'd have like a $9.99 Netflix subscription and maybe HBO for $12.99.
Yeah.
You'd have a couple of them and it was still a lot less than what you would have paid for cable.
Right.
But now everybody has their own streaming services. The prices are going up every single year. You have to have all of these. That's fucking annoying. Then you have, and you know, in the software industry, you used to be able to buy a license for something.
Yeah.
Right? Microsoft Office, Adobe Photoshop, a lot of different products, you could buy a license and now you own that. And you could install it
Mm-hmm.
as long as, you know, you had that license.
You
and
can even install upgrades when they give
Sometimes you could even install upgrades. Sometimes they wouldn't allow you to, but that's fine.
It depending on what the upgrades were and how much they changed within the system itself. You know what I mean? But yeah, but still,
But
agree.
even if you didn't, right? Microsoft Office.
Right.
Every year you would have to buy the new one, but you didn't need to. You could go a couple of years. That's fine.
Right.
Now you can't actually buy any of this software.
Right.
You have to have a monthly subscription to
And
it.
you don't have physical copies. It's all in a cloud that you can be
Everything.
denied access to the minute that, you know.
As soon as
Payment
that
doesn't
credit
go
card,
through.
right, is not on file, it's they're not able to charge it. You no longer have access to anything.
Exactly.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
And then I think the one for me that pisses me off the most is cars.
Yeah.
Cars now have subscriptions for things. Like, if you put the functionality in the fucking car,
Mm-hmm.
it should be turned on.
Right.
I should not have to pay you anything, no less a monthly service charge to use it.
Exactly.
That's absolute bull.
Again, nickel and diming everyone.
Yeah.
For the dumbest reasons.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
Yeah. So in general, I don't mind things going to a subscription model. I think it helps the people, but like, don't nickel and dime everybody.
Exactly. Not everything needs to be a subscription.
Next up, we have gender reveal parties.
So these have been getting crazier and crazier. We didn't do gender reveal parties like
No.
when we were having kids. Like, it really wasn't a thing.
No,
That's like more recent, like 10 years.
I feel like it's
10,
probably been about 10 years.
15 years,
Yeah.
something like that. So, but I didn't do it. It's weird to me when you want to do it like a big production, because like we still live in a day and age where like doctors have still been wrong even with ultrasounds. So there's that part of it. Like, by all means, do your thing, but like don't set fields on fire and hurt people, because like, think about it. It's just a gender reveal. Be excited that you're having a healthy baby.
I'm not really into the gender reveal bullshit,
Mhm.
right? And especially when you're going to have a baby shower and then a gender reveal party.
Mhm.
No. I love you. I'm happy you're having a baby. I don't love your baby enough to go to both of those and buy you gifts for both of those. Like, pick one.
Right.
Yeah, have a baby shower. Great. I'll come, bring you a gift. I'm happy for you.
Right.
Then you have a gender reveal party. I don't care. When's the baby born?
Right.
Give me the baby, right?
Right.
I'll come, squeeze the baby's cheek, love babies. We don't need a gender reveal party.
Although I'm not gonna lie, I do happen to scroll through the videos where it's always the bad reactions to the gender reveals. Like if
Oh,
it's
it's even worse.
I fucking eat it up, because like, yeah, that is on film forever that you just acted like that.
Yeah.
You
Your
know?
kids might see that one day.
Yeah. And that you were so upset because they were one gender over another.
Right. That's ridiculous.
People
And
are
the ones
funny.
that go wrong and they burn shit down or people get hurt like that. Yeah. I think that's one I wouldn't mind that cultural trend going.
Yeah.
All right, next one is electronics biometric scanners.
Okay, so this one was mine that I
Right.
had requested because I have an issue with this for no reason that I can think of, because this is my fucking face. My genetics, like my biometrics, will just stop working, and it'll be like, we can't recognize your face. We can't recognize your face. Use your passcode. It's my face. It was my same face yesterday. It doesn't change that dramatically. Like I'm not like some of those women out there that like I wake up looking like a completely different person with like my makeup on or off. I look like me. But apparently not to my biometrics. And then it just is like, nope, not today.
I don't have this problem.
Maybe they're just doing it to women to give us a complex.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. But I know I've never had a problem with it.
I have to like sometimes like turn my phone off, turn it back on, or uninstall it or reinstall it. Like, and it's not just like one app. Like it'll be all of them. I hate it. Or I have to like hold the camera in a certain position because God forbid I have a double neck.
Is your camera dirty or something?
No, I'm always cleaning it. I have a problem with that. I'm OCD about that.
I don't know. I've never, unless I just wake up, in which case my phone is kind of like, I'm not sure if this is you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't ever have a problem with it not recognizing my face.
Nope. Every once in a while, they'll just be like, this isn't you. We have twins that are fraternal. They're not identical. They look similar, but if you actually look at their profiles, they have different shaped heads. And yet they can open each other's easily, and mine will just randomly not recognize my face. Same face.
They look identical. This is like Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. Okay, if you're not part of the family, you can't tell them apart. It took me a very long time to be able to tell them apart because they look identical. So I understand where the software is going to have a problem.
It doesn't, though. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have a problem with telling those two apart. They're not identical. My same
It
face.
does.
My same face.
But you're telling me that one can open the other.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is a problem.
That is because they have slight differences, and it should be able to detect that.
No.
And yet, if I just have it at the wrong angle and I got, my turkey gobbler going on, it's like, it's not you. I'm like, no, but it is.
Okay, so you want this one to go. I'm okay with it. I don't really have a problem with it.
Okay.
Digital displays in cars.
So I like digital displays in cars.
Me too.
I am a big fan of getting away from the buttons and using voice commands and gestures because I can focus more on the road. The only annoying part is when you get excessive with hands, because then it's like pausing it, or it's turning it back on, or turning it up and down.
Right. I like a couple of buttons on there. I think your, on and off volume button, that should be a physical button.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of other buttons on there, but for the most part, I am all for the electronic displays. I like them.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I think it gives you a better experience. They can, build them off instead of having to have set buttons for everything. They can give you the different screens. I love it.
Yeah.
The only thing is I wish they had an Italian mode, because when you're talking with your hands a lot, like I tend to do, when I'm talking with your hands a lot, it will constantly try to see those as gestures in the car.
Right.
And I'm constantly turning the radio on and off.
Yeah.
Or, I go like this and it's turning the volume up because I talk with my hands a lot. You put an Italian mode on it and I am all for it.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But other than that, I love them. So
yeah,
I don't need the buttons.
Physical buttons are overrated.
They are.
All right. Cookie consent on every website.
So this doesn't bother me, with the exception of I think it's annoying that every single page that I go on asks. I would just rather it be blanketed, like in a setting, whether it's in my browser or something, where it's like, do you prefer yes or no? And then it just sends it or it doesn't, right? But I know you have a different take on this for obvious reasons.
Well, I'm in the software world, so I kind of understand, the laws around it, and even, the difference between American laws, European laws, other places, even California has certain restrictions. It can be annoying, and I understand it, but it's for a better reason. And instead of them just defaulting to, we're going to take all your information and we're going to track you across every site you go on and we're going to sell your information and all this stuff, I would rather have it ask me every single site that I go on than just assume that they can take all of my data.
Okay.
So I would love to see more of a standard created. I think, honestly, the United States is doing a shit job. They care more about the corporations than they do the consumer.
Yeah.
Over in Europe, they care more about the consumer and the people than they do the corporation.
Yeah.
Which is where a lot of the laws come in and a lot of the reasons why they have to do this. So I get it being annoying, but from where I come from, it's better this way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that.
All right. Yearly phone iterations.
When you talk on simplistic levels of supply and demand, we know typically if demand is high and supply is high, price is low, right? But that's never the case when it comes to phones. We know that just about every person has a phone, right? In the entire world. It's become that level of consumption. And yet every year they get more and more expensive with less and less innovation.
Right.
And that's annoying. It's not fair for the consumer who has to foot the bill, and especially on the part of the corporations, because it's just laziness. It's just pure laziness. Like when they started, especially Samsung and Apple started getting in competitively, just changing a few things here and there and upgrading every year, but it wasn't really changing. That's when I started to have major issues with the bigger corporations that they literally are monopolizing the industry, and they know it, and they are taking full advantage of that and overcharging for a product that they don't need to.
Yeah, the companies that are involved in this, Apple, Google, Samsung, they don't need to be charging all of this money for things that they're developing them to fail as quickly as possible anyway.
Right.
I mean, we have caught them actually messing with the software so that it slows your phone down over time.
Right.
Like we've literally caught them doing this.
Right. So that you have to upgrade.
And they make the components on them cheaper because they want you
to upgrade
as often as possible.
Right.
And I know I have some friends who every year when the new iPhone comes out, they buy it. That's great. You shouldn't have to.
Exactly.
You should wait. You should be able to wait 5, even 10 years.
I don't like getting it every year.
I don't like getting it every year either.
To me, it's a pain in the ass to convert everything over.
Yeah.
I know it's become a lot easier in the last couple of models than it ever was before. But at the same time, I just, when you get used to using one, and then, the only reason that I ever want to upgrade for me personally is one, if I need extra storage space, which I can buy externally, or the camera functions have upgraded that much,
right.
Because
which every couple of years.
Right.
Oh, that's great. You know, in 5 years, hey, you know what? This one's kind of, on its way out, and look at the new specs on the new one. Great.
Right.
But give us a lot more every year.
Exactly. Like if you're going to charge these prices, make it worth my while.
Right. People doing good deeds for clout.
I don't have a problem with people doing good deeds. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that people want to shine a light on helping others, but there's a very fine line between actually helping others and exploiting them. And that's where we have to be vigilant in how we're doing things. We've talked many times about it's one thing to want to go and feed the hungry or the unhoused. It's a whole other thing to film yourself doing it because essentially they're partaking in this production because of a necessity of whether it's food or whatever it is that you're going to help them with. It's not because they necessarily want to. So it's a little degrading on that level. There's no reason why you can't have a channel that's dedicated to this type of help without actually showing you helping people. You can talk and film, about the businesses that help you, or, how you go about what you do, when you go about, where you go about. You can even have talking about different people who are like constant people that you've helped over the years, and maybe if they've gotten better, where are they now kind of scenarios. There are other ways that you can go about it without actually having to exploit others. But I know it usually comes from a good place.
Yeah, if you want to use your platform to help other people, I think that's great. If you want to develop a platform to help other people, I think that's great. I think filming some of it is good. If businesses are, giving you a deal or giving you some free stuff, absolutely give them, the attention from it. I think all of that is great. Don't film the people that you're helping because they're already in a very vulnerable position. And for you to give them something and do something for them, but then stick a camera in their face and they feel like, oh, well, in order to get this meal that I very much need, I have to do this. They're going to do it.
Right.
But they shouldn't have to. If you're going to do it, great. I love the idea of it. Consider them a little bit and don't put them on camera. Like
it's so strange to me because like I am all for helping people, especially people who are in positions where they're at their most vulnerable in life. I have a hard time even doing it when there's people around because I don't want them. It's not for them. I'm not trying to make a spectacle of it. I don't want people to watch me do it. It's literally for this person who is in a very, very difficult position who just needs some help. So to me, I don't completely get needing the audience for that aspect of it.
Right. All right. Annoying influencer groups. And this isn't influencers in general.
Right.
These are specific subculture of influencers that we're talking about here. Okay. So who are some of the ones that you could do without?
I love trad wives for the ability to say, okay, I'm a traditional wife. I stay at home. These are meals that I make. This is how I make them. These are tips and tricks that I have around the house for organization and cleaning. Absolutely love all of that. Like anything else. What I don't like is when you are continuously bashing other women or other people who don't want to be stay-at-home partners, or anyone who is taking their platform and saying, you're not good enough unless you're me, and doing this. It's one thing to want to be something or to inspire others to be similar to you or even like you. It's a whole other thing when you are kind of demanding that and shaming everybody else for not being you. So that's the only problem I have with it.
Yeah, it's those groups that kind of push their philosophies on you. And try to make you feel like you have to do this.
Right.
For me, it's this new looks maxing thing. I think it's ridiculous. Your gym bros, your crypto bros, whatever the fuck the Tate brothers are, and that whole
sex trafficking ring.
Fuck that whole thing. Okay. If there's any young guys out there, don't listen to what the fuck these dudes are telling you. They know absolutely nothing about women, about life, about anything. And, stay away from that shit.
I can promise you right now as a woman, as an older, mature woman, I'm telling you right now that following people like that is what's contributing to this lonely male epidemic. It's not because women don't want to be with men. It's because they don't want to be with men like that. And they don't feel safe with men like that. Right. So, of course, at this point in our lives, until you take away all of our rights, we could just be on our own and be so much happier than to have to deal with men like that. And that's not you. You are not that kind of a man. And I am a very lucky woman to have you because there are so many out there that are like that. So kudos to you, for being the gentleman that you are and the upstanding man that you are. There are not that many of you.
You are a very lucky woman.
I'm a very lucky woman.
And I'm a very lucky man. The gym bros thing, I get you're into the gym. It's healthy. You look good. I'm happy for you. But then to shit on other people who don't have time to go to the gym, who don't want to go to the gym, fuck you.
Exactly. Go be healthy.
Yeah.
Find people who want to be like you and who will appreciate that you have all this insight to give them or these techniques to help them build, whatever it is. But stop attacking other people for not being like you.
Right.
It's just ridiculousness. It's immaturity.
Next one up is tipping culture, specifically the iPad swivel for minimal service.
I've been in the service industry my whole life. And I would absolutely love to see the service industry become an industry where we collectively agree that if they're going to continue to serve all of us, they deserve livable wages. I don't like the mentality of, well, if you don't feel like you're getting paid enough, go find another job, because then what you're going to end up with is an industry where there's no people, because no one will be able to work those jobs because they can't, or they have to have several of them, which, I mean, that shouldn't, people should be able to have a work-life balance no matter what industry you're working in. It's not fair to say, well, I have a better education and I'm getting paid so much more than you. That's fine. I don't have a problem with differentiating like the difficulties and you know, and how you got there or whatever. But if the service industry serves as everyone, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are, they deserve a livable wage.
Yeah, no question about it. If you're working 40 hours a week, you should be able to afford, you know, your living arrangements and food and even some extra money to be able to do things no matter what your job is. Exactly. I do think it's a little ridiculous that we've gotten to the point where, you know, if we're talking about regular tipping culture, great. If we're only going to pay them, you know, a couple dollars an hour and they're relying on tips, you better fucking tip, and you better tip well. Right. But when we start talking about like employees that are making regular wages and have done nothing other than put your order in, and then they swivel it around, do you want to give them a tip? I mean, I will do that most times, but I don't understand why we're doing that.
A lot of times it's because they might not be making like the federal minimum wage, but they're still not making a livable wage. And so what companies will do is now they'll introduce the tipping, and then they distribute those tips for everyone who works, not just the person taking the order. It gets distributed amongst everyone who works those shifts. It's usually put right into their paycheck. So the taxes come out now. You can't even, you know, it's not even just cash that you have.
Yeah, but we're the only culture that does this. It relies on tips.
We are also one of the only countries that we don't pay these specific industries livable wages.
So pay your fucking people.
I agree with you 100%. I don't understand why, you know, our CEOs need to make 300 times more than their employees in this country, whereas other countries, it's maybe 30 to 50%. It drives me absolutely insane when you have a company where, let's say the CEO made $19 million the previous year, and then this year they're closing stores and they're laying off employees because pricing is going up, because, you know, everything's chaotic right now, and they don't want to lose. The top people in the corporations don't want to lose their bonuses and their income. So instead of coming down from those millions where they still can live comfortably, they take it out on the employees. That's sad. And then you end up with locations that are overburdened because you're short-staffed. You burn them out. Like it's a vicious cycle being in the service industry, and it's become a difficult industry for anyone to really work in, unless you're like a teenage kid who doesn't really have responsibility. It's sad to me, and I agree with you. We shouldn't need a tipping culture to help people live. Right. But unfortunately, this is how our society works. Right. The companies don't want to pay their employees. They want everybody else to pay while they're increasing your prices.
All right. Next one up is resellers and scalpers. So this one, I split into two kind of groups. You have the one where they're buying and reselling like collectibles. It's really hard to put a cap on that and a way to stop that. But then you have your tickets for events, concerts, sporting events. And we absolutely could block people from buying up in bulk and then selling, you know, at exorbitant rates to the point where people can't afford now to go to concerts like when we were younger.
Yeah, it bothers me every time that I want to take the kids to a concert. It's, you know, like nowadays you almost need a payment plan for some of the scalpers' prices on tickets, and God forbid you know, like I love it when certain credit cards that I have will have like early access to tickets.
Right.
Because I know that I'm paying legitimate prices.
Right.
You know, it drives me absolutely insane when the kids want to go see somebody and for fucking nosebleeds, you're paying like $1,000.
That's
like,
insane.
That is. And it's tragic to me
Yeah.
because the majority of people that end up going to concert are your young people. You know, they're going to show up. They're going to pay your prices no matter what. But the fact that these prices the money's not going towards the artist, you're giving it to corporations who are just the middleman and scalpers.
Right.
And that's aggravating.
Right.
It's so aggravating. I would honestly rather get tickets from an individual artist than go through these third-party companies because they've done nothing for the consumer. It's just greed. That's all.
Fuck Ticketmaster, okay?
Yeah.
They're the worst of it.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to put an end to this problem, they could tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Right.
Because it ends up working in their favor.
Exactly.
But it just sucks because people who enjoy the artists, who enjoy the teams, you cannot afford to go to these often.
Yeah.
And that's who you want at your concerts. That's who you want at your games. That's who you want at your events.
Right.
Is your hardcore fans.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that you're pricing out just so somebody else can make another buck.
Exactly.
Multi-year breaks in TV shows.
I have a hard time with this because I am neurodivergent, so I will fall off on things on my own. And then if you compound it with a series that takes a couple years, sometimes it's really difficult for me. Do you remember the Umbrella Corporation?
Yeah.
And then we had to wait for the last season to come out. It was like a year or two. And then it came out and it wasn't that great.
Right.
That makes it even worse. Because you're like, okay, it's gonna come out. And then if it's a flop or it's not what you anticipated and you had to wait that long, it makes it even worse. And we know between you and I have a really hard time with final seasons of anything anyway. It's very, very rare that I actually find like a series finale that was done well, in my opinion. So then, trying to wait. I know that we will do it. I think the only one that's ever kept my interest and did it well was the BBC's Sherlock with Cumberbatch. I thought they did a really good job on that.
Yeah, that was excellent. I would also put Stranger Things on that list. That took like 3 years.
It did, and they did a good job on that one was definitely one where I thought that it ended very, very well. They did an amazing job with it. But at the same time, it was just agony waiting for it.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're waiting all that time and then if it sucks, it makes it that much more frustrating because you've already built up all that anticipation and you can't wait for it and then it just flops.
Yeah.
Kind of like the last season of Game of Thrones. That took a little while and just was absolutely fucking terrible.
And Dexter. I just stopped watching that one.
Stop watching that one.
Yep. That whole last season, I was like, nope.
All right, last one on our list is, and this one is one that I added, zipper merging. I cannot fucking stand zipper merging.
I know you can't.
It doesn't work. It's not what it should be. You should not have two lines going down and then merging at the end. If everybody got the fuck over early, you wouldn't have a problem. You could continue going at your normal speed and every traffic would just flow through. This is like, fluid dynamics, man. It just makes sense.
And then you always end up with like one or two jackasses who are like, oh, nobody's in that lane. Let me go right all the way up front. And then they get pissed off that no one who has been waiting like 10 or 15 minutes lets them in because you're fucking it up.
Yeah, they're the ones that fuck it up. They're the ones that fuck it up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's why we have zipper merging, is because assholes like that just decide, oh, it's open. They're going to go down to the end.
Exactly.
I think we need to shun those people from society. Okay?
Yeah, let's shoot their tires out.
Yeah, let's shoot their tires out. Let's make that.
I do not have a gun.
We'll come up with the little ninja stars.
Yeah.
We should be allowed to do that.
Learn to merge, it'll say on it.
Right. Exactly. So they know exactly why. All right, what'd you think of our list?
I liked it.
Yeah?
It was fun. Yeah. What did you think of our list? Let us know which ones you agreed with and how you feel about our list.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. All that really helps us. You could find us on all of the major podcasting platforms. And until next time.
Bye, everybody.